But I don't care. Somewhere in that cold titanium chest, there's something real. Because I feel it.
Your presence is
And this is the part where he says, robots don't love.
That's what love is.
And then he vaporizes her.
Inconvenient.
Robots do not love. Prepare to be vaporized.
Gets me every time. You know, I have been consuming a lot of robot media lately. I'm talking robot movies, robot books. Hell, I even gave a go at robot doilies. I'll admit, not my best work, but you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't played a robot video game. So, for this episode, I thought I'd whip out a classic. Mega Man Legends. You know, it's funny because Mega Man Legends 2 was actually my first Mega Man game, so I'd say it's time I checked out the original. So grab some lemons, grab an energy tank, and let's rock. Man. I thought it was a lot funnier in my... Mega Man, a game series beloved by many a 90s child, starring that titular blue protagonist so iconic he stands shoulder to shoulder with the greats, like Mario from Super Mario, or Sonic from Sonic, or Croc from Croc. You really gotta hand it to those old school naming conventions. I mean, you got Mega Man, Sonic the Hedgehog, Super Mario, all crystal clear titles. And then suddenly I'm the bad guy for calling Link Zelda? Make it make sense. But in 1997, Capcom decided it was their turn to enter the world of 3D and try their hand at a spin-off series that focused more on free roaming and RPG mechanics. Enter Mega Man Legends, or as it's called in Japanese, Rokumen Dashu Hagene no Boukenshin, aka Rockman Dash, Adventurous Spirit of Steel, with Dash of course being the acronym for Dig Outers' adventure stories in the halcyon days. And what a name it is! In fact, I'd like it if more games used long and ambiguous titles. Oh boy, I can't wait for Super Mario 64 Italian's Journey in the Gabagool days.
Let's go!
Mega Man Legends was released December 18th, 1997 in Japan, and received praise for its ability to transfer the 2D elements you'd find in the original Mega Man series into a 3D space. Elements like secrets, upgrades, and of course, that old-time classic of jumping and shooting. In fact, despite Mega Man Legends having mediocre sales, its loyal fan base and positive reception gave Capcom the green light to develop not just a sequel, but a prequel and a mobile game. Then just a year later, it got ported to PC and Nintendo 64. Now I am going to be covering the PS1 version because unfortunately the ports weren't great. Both the 64 and PC version did boast better load times, but that came at the price of compressed audio, slowdowns during gameplay, and muted colors. Which is a damn shame because looking at the back of this case, you can just tell that this game is gonna be bright, vibrant, and adventurous. I mean, look at the gameplay. Legendary, you say? Well, there's only one way to find out.
In a world covered by endless water, people are forced to eke out a living on the small patches of land that remain above the sea. However, over the years, the story of a fabulous treasure, the legendary Mother Lode, began to be whispered among the diggers. The Mother Lode, a treasure so great.
All right, talk about a slow start. I'm just trying to get to that legendary gameplay the back of the box is bragging about, but this narrator here sounds like he's about to tuck me in for the night and give me a warm glass of milk. Well then, go on. The world setting of Mega Man Legends is fantastic, and this intro sets up the entire premise for the series. Based at the end of the canonical Mega Man timeline, the world of Mega Man Legends is covered in an ocean, which is the result of an apocalyptic event caused by an ancient civilization that flooded the planet. In the present day, there are adventurers known as diggers or dig outers, who explore the ruins of these civilizations looking for technology, energy refractors, and of course something known as the Mother Lode, a treasure said to be
So great.
it can be used to power the world forever. You play as Mega Man Volnut, who along with his friends, Roll and her grandfather Barrel, have taken on the occupation of diggers. The game starts in a dig site known as the Sea Tower during the extraction of a refractor core. Removing this core of course sets off a trap which Mega Man narrowly escapes, activating the tower's security systems and throwing us into a tutorial. And what a start! Story, action, gameplay, putting the player in right away. That's Mega Man. And what's better is the tutorial isn't long, invasive, or annoying, which is surprising given that this is Mega Man's first 3D endeavor. Now with the brand new 3D controls, as one might expect, the D-pad moves Mega Man in 8 directions. You can rotate by holding right and left bumper. Select opens up a map, and start pauses your game, giving you access to your inventory. X is jump, circle is your confirmation button, square is shoot, and triangle uses your equipped special weapon, which we have yet to get. You can also lock onto enemies with right trigger, which forces you to stand still for a precision shot. And they did include a dodge mechanic by pressing R1 or L1 plus X while standing still. The controls in this game are easy to use and only take a bit to get used to. However, there is one thing that did annoy me. While moving, you are able to shoot, but the moment that you change direction, either going from front to back or side to side, there is like a micro stutter that stunts your shots, which slows down the flow of combat if you aren't mindful of it. It's not a huge issue, but it definitely frustrated me when starting out. But other than that one small thing, ooh baby, once you get these controls down, you'll be slinging lemons left, right, and center. Dr. Wily won't even stand a chance. Except he's not in this game. Well, actually, he is in this game. This is him. He's a minor character.
I'm glad I could get someone as pretty as you to fix my boat for me.
Oh, I don't know, Doc. I know taking over the world didn't go so well for you, but you gotta leave the kids alone. At the end of the tutorial, we meet with our first boss, this big ol' hunk here, known as the Hanmuru doll, or Hammer doll. Something important to note about this boss is up until now, we've only fought against your standard Reaver bots, which could be easily dealt with by standing at a distance, locking on, and shooting. But now we are facing an adversary who forces us to move, always slamming his arm down in our direction. He also does this little when trying to reposition, and I'd be lying if I said I don't think it's the cutest thing in the world. So naturally, standing still with the right trigger is no longer an option. Now we gotta learn the basics of 3D combat, or as I like to call it, strafing and shooting, baby! Something I really like about Mega Man Legends is the controls work seamlessly with combat. Capcom did such an amazing job making that jump from 2D to 3D as smooth as possible. And I think it's best showcased in bigger arenas with highly mobile enemies. Take the Karamuna Bash, for example. It's damn near impossible to stand still without being torn up by this thing. And when you run around, your bullets just kind of go all over the place, never really hitting their target. Unless... What was that? Oh my god, they got Doom in this game. You better believe Mega Man Legends put a little bit of that original Doom stank on those bullets and added in an auto-aim mechanic. Whenever you shoot towards an enemy, provided you're close enough and facing their direction, your shots will home in ever so slightly, meaning Mega Man doesn't have to rely solely on the hard lock-ons. I think this helps make battles more engaging, letting the player run to the side, panning the camera with the bumper, pelting those ancient Guardian robots with energy bullets, all while that oh-so-satisfying impact sound slams against those Reaver bots. And what? Instead of giving you that piddly lemon shooter you get in the 2D games, the devs decided that wouldn't it be cooler if as you progressed, you could uncover parts that would upgrade your weapon, leading to different playstyles. Want more range? Slap a range booster on that thing. Want shorter cooldowns between shots? Hit up that rapid striker, dog. Your buster has 4 core stats which can be enhanced with buster parts. You got attack, which increases the damage and size of your bullets. Energy, which increases the amount of ammo coming out per round. Range, which increases the distance of your shots. And rapid, which increases the firing speed between rounds. And these parts are laying everywhere, making exploration a dream since you are consistently looking for new parts or items to make special equipment. And it is so worth it. Such a good reward for searching every nook and cranny this game has to offer, as well as a great incentive for completing the various side quests. But we'll talk about those later. Right now, that Hammer doll's back. And we gotta go! We escape the sea tower on Roll's airship, the Flutter, and there is a brief cutscene explaining why Roll, Barrel, and Mega Man are even on this adventure. Turns out Roll's parents went missing and they are searching for them as they travel island to island. But as Mega Man and Roll are talking, there is a critical engine failure that causes the Flutter to crash land on an island known as Catalogs. With a need for a new refractor core to power the Flutter, and Barrel being taken away to see the mayor, we are left to explore the island proper. In this first area, what can I say? It's perfect. It does such a great job of blending both story and game mechanics together in an exciting way that makes it feel like it's not even a tutorial. There's no interrupts or reading heavy segments, and the only hand-holding that the game does is when Roll chimes in, but even then, that doesn't feel forced and she never overstays her welcome. The whole thing just feels like it's ripped straight out of a Saturday morning cartoon, and you know what? It works. Catalogs is the main setting for Mega Man Legends, and talk about PS1 nostalgia. home. The first area we visit is the iconic Apple Market, a place so chock full of little activities that have no bearing on the story but were simply put in for the sake of making this market feel alive. Like chilling at the music shop listening to some fusion jazz, kicking a can repeatedly across the street. There are some dirty magazines on this rack. It might be fun to look at them. Okay, Grandma. Preying on the developing minds of curious young men, are we? May as well throw in a half sack of booze and a pack of Marlboro Classics while you're at it. You make me sick. I'll take 14. The fact that they put so much detail into this one street really goes to show that Capcom didn't just want to make a 3D Mega Man game. They wanted to bring the world of Mega Man to life. Every person here says something unique. Most NPCs look different, and can we talk about the details? We can't leave the Apple Market just yet, so we make a pit stop at the junk shop and search for a refractor. But the owner doesn't have one. However, she does have an issue that we might be able to help with. Her husband went missing in some nearby ruins, and since we're a digger, she asks us if we can go find him. You know what? I'm not surprised he's down here. If I had moves like those, I'd keep them hidden away from the public as well. Saving Mr. Dancing Husband gives us access to the shop where we will spend the majority of our zenny. And they have a range of goods offering such things as consumables, permanent upgrades to your defense, health, and canteen, or parts for your buster gun or special weapons. Speaking of parts, as a reward, the owner gifts us with some mine parts, which we can bring to Roll, giving us access to our first special weapon, the Splash Mine Arm. Roll's function in Mega Man Legends is twofold. First, she's your spotter, a digger who oversees the ruins from a base of operation and guides the partner on the field to treasure. But more importantly, she's also your mechanic. And as you play, you will find items through various means that can be combined together to create new, unique weapons for your second arm. And there are a ton of these, all of which offer different ways to play. I'm talking special weapons that are machine guns, special weapons that are laser beams. Even some of them are useful outside of combat, with my personal favorite being the vacuum arm. Because it sucks. But weapons aren't all Roll can make. She can also make a variety of utility items that are imperative to your playthrough. Bring her the joint plug? Time to equip 3 buster parts at once, I guess. You bring that girl a safety helmet, and boom, defense goes up. So does your chances of taking the short bus. The few utility items she can make are so useful, but my personal favorite are the jet skis. These things are so useful and become such a fun means of travel once you get the hang of how they control. For the sake of brevity, I'm not going to go into a detailed breakdown on how to use them, but they're not easy at first. Luckily, they do get better as you get a feel for them, and I recommend doing the K-Tox jet ski minigame if you really want to learn how to get good with them, or put yourself through one of the most frustrating minigames. After we get an upgrade from Roll, a police officer shows up and gives us a citizen's card, allowing us to go deeper into the city. But upon entering the city, our paths cross with a girl named Tron Bon and her army of legally distinct serve bots who most definitely are not Lego men. Just to be clear, this is not a Lego man. Might look like one, you might have the yellow skin and the same hands that grip the lightsabers, but that is not a Lego man. Actually, we meet her twice. Second time, we save her from a dog, which causes her to develop a little bit of a crush on Mega Man. Turns out, Tron is a member of the Bon family, a notorious sky pirate brother-sister-brother trio, who are currently causing havoc in the city. According to local legend, there is a massive treasure under catalogs, and the Bons are determined to find it. They decided that leveling the city is the only way to do it, since the mayor won't give them access keys to the ruins. So I guess it's up to us to intervene, and the cutscene we get between Tron and Volnut is such a good showcase of the amazing voice acting and character expression Capcom has put into this game.
Hey, you! Thanks to you, everything's a mess now, isn't it?
Huh? Aren't you the girl who's being chased by that dog?
Shut up! I don't want to hear about that! Do you know what you've done?
Huh?
You're a lot dumber than you look. You should have known better than to pick a fight with the Bonds. Of course, if you agree to become one of my servants, I suppose I could forgive you. What do you say? That way my brother will never have to know about what you did to us.
Join up with pirates? I don't think so.
All right then, forget you. Fine, see if I care. I gave you a chance and you turned it down. Don't come back crying to me later. Your history! You're toast! Just you wait!
Nowadays, quality character models, facial expressions, and great voice acting are the norm. But in 1997, motion capture was just becoming a thing in games, and good facial expressions were hard to come by. In voice acting, well, that was either really campy or just downright terrible.
Must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
But this was awesome. This was revolutionary. The facial expressions in Mega Man Legends is just so good. Tron specifically, she's so expressive. And it's not just her face, her body language, her poses, the way she moves. It's all so fluent for a game in 1997, all brought together by this clear, dynamic voice acting that's filled with emotion, give or take a few awkward deliveries. We defeat Tron, then meet her little brother, Bon Bon. He's quite literally just a big robot baby head. Bon and the Servbots begin an assault on City Hall, and we immediately enter the second mission. Something awesome about this mission is that if you do a bad job protecting the town, it will in turn suffer a lot of damage. With those buildings lost, you can lock yourself out of some side quests, but donating money back to the city will help restore what was destroyed. I always enjoy when games hold their players accountable for their actions. Nothing peeves me more than doing some absolutely reprehensible thing and just getting away with it. In fact, Mega Man Legends has a mechanic where the more crimes you prevent, bombs you defuse, do-gooder actions, the brighter blue your suit becomes. On the flip side, the more deviant you are, kicking vending machines, kicking dogs, kicking cans into the bakery, the darker your suit becomes. It doesn't really matter a whole lot, but I love a good obscure mechanic in my games, and I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about it. Once we save the city, we can then take up the third mission against Tissel, the eldest of the Bonds, and this guy? He's the greatest. His voice acting alone is immaculate.
If only we'd known there was someone like him here in the first place. We won't fail next time. We'll ambush, concentrate our firepower on him. We won't cut him any slack just because we outnumber him. That kid's going down.
The exaggerated delivery, the over-the-top anime villain energy. This is voice acting at its finest. Man, I wonder what he's up to nowadays.
Jesus.
Yeah, no, don't look up the voice actor Robert Smith on Wikipedia if you're looking to preserve this game's innocence. Anyways, while Tron and Bon were at the city, Tissel is drilling near a subgate in attempts to get underground with his big dig rig known as the Marl Wolf. Mole Wolf. Okay, Germany, I get it. You can make machines that split atoms. Fine. Naming them? Sounds like you got a mouthful of bratwurst. Gesundheit. And after 3 back-to-back missions and the defeat of the Bonds, we are finally given an access key by the mayor, allowing us to enter the underground ruins of the island. You see, Mayor Amelia has received reports of Reaverbots acting highly hostile to intruders within the subgates. This naturally has sparked fear of another old legend where a calamity is said to befall Cadillacs every century or so. So, because we are diggers, she wants us to explore the ruins and figure out what's causing the Reaverbots to go so haywire in hopes that we can stop said calamity. By now, you may have surmised that Mega Man Legends gameplay is broken up into 3 pillars: exploration, missions, and dungeon crawling. Exploration is, as it sounds, we explore the island, going out around the city, forests, and fields, running side quests, gaining Zenny, or furthering the story. Once we hit that story beat, we typically start a mission which involves us dealing with the Bonds in some capacity, as they are the core villains of the story. But then we have the pillar of dungeon crawling, which I think is by far my favorite part of this game. You have 3 types of dungeons in Mega Man Legends: subgates, subportals, and subcities, all of which are interconnected as one vast subterranean dungeon. As you progress this labyrinth, you gain items that allow you to reach previously unreachable portions of the dungeon, revealing new areas or connecting to old ones. For example, the first subgate we enter is the Cardon Forest subgate, a root-ridden bot-bug-infested ruin, and our goal here is to look for a refractor core that will be big enough to repair the flutter. But upon exploring, we end up finding the spring set, a key part that allows Roll to develop the jump spring, giving Mega Man a high jump, allowing access to ledges that were previously not accessible, thus increasing the potential areas to explore within the gates. And this is kinda how most of the subgates go. Find a refractor which progresses the story, grab a new upgrade, and explore some more. And if you're feeling a little froggy, you can even return to a previous area to find new parts that you might have missed. The feedback loop is something like a Metroidvania game. That cycle of exploration, getting treasure, upgrading, progressing story, and then exploring again. It's just so well thought out, and I found myself spending hours making sure I didn't miss any areas which could have had potential treasure or parts, of which there are tons. As for loot, you'll find your classic treasure chests filled with Zenny, but more importantly, you'll find cracks. And these ain't your normal cracks. Oh no, most certainly not. These cracks hold all sorts of goodies. And by the end of this game, you'll be sticking your hand in so many cracks you'll be banned from every Magic the Gathering tournament in a 12-mile radius. The dungeons are just so atmospheric, really driving home that feeling of isolation. You enter, and there's this low ambient music that drones in the background. you hear the sound of a rogue Reaverbot in the distance, and suddenly that little eye below your health bar lights up, and all of a sudden this Reaverbot power slides around from the corner, and it's just so good. They really nail that feeling that these runes are ancient with both their ambience and design. Each subgate felt like they had their own theme, Cardon being more of a cave, Jun being underwater, and Closer more of a mining facility. They were also filled with unique areas such as the water-soaked main room of the Jun subgate. Individually, the subgates feel pretty contained, but once you start unlocking those connection areas, you start to realize that they're all smaller pieces of a larger complex. As a D&D fan, I love dungeon crawlers, so finding out that each individual subgate was just part of a giant labyrinthian dungeon was just the icing on the cake. Like, this is just the portal dungeon. That's a lot of dungeon. But you know what really gets me amped up? You know what really just gristles my gristberries? It's not the exploration, nor is it mingling with the locals. No, it's gotta be that sick, nasty, freaking kickflip 180 Reaverbot design. I've never skateboarded a day in my life. The robots in this series are absolute peak, and I know people might disagree. I also know that those people are wrong. Look at these robots. They have clown feet. Robots with clown feet. Even the Hiroko with its iconic Reaverbot eye is an instant classic enemy right up there with a Goomba. They even got the same body shape. They were just so creative with the enemy design, and I'm really happy they went down the ancient technology route compared to the cutie anime design of the original games. Not to say that the originals were bad, especially the enemy design in X and Zero being some of the best, but there's something magical about the Reaverbots that really add an air of mystery to the game, which I'm pretty sure was by design, because this game's story runs deeper than just a few sky pirates trying to get a treasure. Each time we explore a subgate, we are attacked by the Bonds. It starts with the attack on Lake Jun, where we fend off the Balkan G-Rat from the top of a boat. Then in the sky versus the Bond's mothership, which is a two-parter fight going from the mothership to the Focke-Wolf. I don't know who thought that name was appropriate, but the fight truly fox. The arena is on top of the Flutter amongst a sea of clouds, and Tron pilots the Focke-Wolf doing flybys, dropping bombs, all while this amazing music plays. And just look at that boss design. It's straight out of Evangelion. Also, a nice little touch that I really like is at the end of the fight, the Bonds blow up, and Mega Man and Roll look out towards the explosion, concerned that they might have actually killed them. I was not prepared for this level of character development in a Mega Man game. In a lot of games, I typically find that once you defeat the bad guy, that's it, they're dead. But Capcom made it a point to show that both Roll and Mega Man felt remorse for blowing up the Bonds. I guess to me there's something more admirable, more heroic about beating an enemy and letting them live than just killing them because of opposing ideals. And I think that's exactly what Capcom was trying to convey here. Sure, the Bonds were bad, but they didn't deserve to die in a fiery inferno, and Mega Man and Roll knew that. Back at the Flutter, Barrel lets us know that he's found something regarding the treasure of catalogs. There is something known as the main gate, which he believes houses both the treasure and the secret to the calamity, but it can only be opened from the Closer subgate. So we go there, collect some ID cards, and open access to the main gate. This is technically the last dungeon, but the bottom half is sealed off, being locked behind 3 ancient defense systems known as the sub-cities. These sub-cities are protected by powerful Reaverbots, and each house a key needed to open the main gate's lower portion. We activate the defense systems bringing up the sub-cities, but as we head to the first one, wouldn't you know it, the Bonds are back, having survived the last ordeal against Mega Man. And we do get this cute little cutscene between the Bonds and Mega Man, with Mega Man actually being really happy that they survived, only for them to get in and pilot their ultimate weapon, Bruno. And this fight is loud and destructive. Bruno stomps around, destroying parts of the old city while shooting at you with his little gun boots. He also hurls energy blasts that are hard to dodge when standing still, which is unfortunate since your best defense versus Bruno is locking onto his torso and shooting. But it kind of creates this dynamic where Bruno attacks, we dodge, and then in that recovery phase, we do as much damage as we can before the next big attack. Also, did I mention that he's got little gun boots? Because that's a pretty important detail. With the Bonds finally behind us, we enter the first subgate. And just look at that skybox! I was not expecting an open sky when going underground, yet here we are, in an underground city illuminated by the cosmos. Legendary gameplay? More like beautiful friggin' skyboxes. We get the first key, then rush the next 2 subgates, one of which has a... Oh no, what is that? What is that, Capcom? Is that what I think it is? Is that a... I can't be the only one who sees this. That's an anus. That is a big, robot anus. First it was the pervy old man, then it was the dirty magazines, now the raw robot dookie shoots. What's next, Capcom? Accidentally walking in on Roll naked?
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
Whoops.
Now once we have every sub-city key, the only thing left to do is head to the bottom of the main gate. And I get it. A tantalizing prospect for sure. I mean, the treasure hidden beneath catalogs is most certainly behind those vaulted doors. But let me fill you in on where the real treasure is. This game's side content. To rush the story would be a foolish endeavor because Mega Man Legends has some amazing side quests that reward the player with extra gear, parts, and fulfill a narrative that the people of this island are alive, have goals, aspirations, and feelings. And I know that kind of seems pretty silly to point out. I mean, most games do try to make the player feel like they are in a living, breathing world, but the theme of the people of catalogs just simply existing is far more deep-rooted than one can imagine. But I get ahead of myself. The amount of side content in this game isn't at the level of Skyrim or Breath of the Wild, but there is a lot to do and you should do it. At this point, we have all of our upgrades to help us explore the underground labyrinths that lay beneath catalogs, which house some of the most important items that would be beneficial for you to collect. Sure, you'll find parts, but we can also collect ancient artifacts that can be donated to the island's museum. The museum has to be unlocked through a subquest where we find the curator painting a picture of the hospital. She needs to add a missing color and we need to go find something red. To do so, we head to the women's clothing store in the Apple Market, talk to this here cashier, and get some red lipstick, which you can bring back to finish the painting. How would you ever know to do this? Not a clue. But the curator's excitement is contagious.
That's it. That's perfect.
The museum is one of the most important side quests because A, it's a collectathon, which I love and so should you, and B, it encourages you to explore the island's ruins in depth as most of the artifacts can be located in gates and subgates. Also, the final reward is the best special weapon in the game, the Shining Laser. Other subquests range from doing minigames like the K-Tox TV station quests, where you kick these dogs into other dogs, or pop these smug-ass balloons, to doing fetch quests or locating NPCs. The importance of these subquests at their core are to get parts, but you'll soon realize that as you complete them, you begin to get to know the people of the island, their personalities, their families. It feels like you're helping out the community and making the island a better place. And this feeling could not be more present than during the quest with Ira. Ira is really sick and can't walk. She tells us that the nurse said with enough hard work, she'll be walking in no time and someday she will live out her dream and get to explore the world. But then when we talk to the nurse, she tells us in truth that without the machine, Ira may never walk again. You can pay 15,000 zenny to the mayor and upgrade the hospital. Then when you return to it,
Hey, Mega Man! Look! Look, I can walk again!
in my eyes, this is just one of the small stories that makes Mega Man Legends so great. You have these townsfolk who, for the most part, look unique, have their own dreams, wants, they love, they laugh. They're human, except they're not. Battling down through the main gate, we use the sub-city keys on the 3 doors at the bottom. Mega Man enters a chamber with a large vault. It opens, revealing the true antagonist of this game, Mega Man Juno, a bureaucratic unit tasked with keeping the carbon population of catalogs low to none. And what's weirder yet is Juno seems to know more about us than we do that didn't sound right, than we do him, as he refers to us as a purifier model and calls us by our true name, Mega Man Trigger. Juno then reveals that he's going to purge the population of catalogs as the carbon numbers have grown too large in the time he was deactivated. Obviously, we can't let that happen, especially after getting to know and help all the townsfolk. So Mega Man refuses, and we are blessed with the greatest scene of all time. Art at its finest. To give you some background, the carbons Juno is referring to are not just the people of catalogs, but the entire world. As it turns out, they are artificially created humans made by the ancient humans. Ever wonder why Bon Bon is just a baby head? Why Beryl and Tissel have robotic eyes? It's not random. It's because carbons are able to just swap body parts like it's nothing. You ever see that War Amps commercial?
I am Astar, a robot. I can put my arm back on. You can't.
Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot about how horrifying that commercial was.
Nothing says stay safe, kids, like an alien robot doing flips through some Philips Series 3000s. Holy shit! They are these weird human-robot hybrids that build societies like humans, have cultures like humans, emotions like humans, but at the end of the day, they technically are not human. And with Juno awakened and the carbon population grown far beyond the parameters, he starts the reinitialization of the island, which is just a fancy way of saying he's going to unleash a giant beam that's going to glass the joint. This whole premise feeds into themes like if artificial life deserves to live. And I know for me, playing those side quests really did make me feel like, yeah, I need to save these people because regardless if they're human or not, I spent way too much Zenny on the island to let it be destroyed. Luckily, the Bonds overhear the entire conversation between Juno and Volnut, and whether it be for self-preservation or Tron's crush on Mega Man, they save our blue hero, and with the hope of all Catalogs riding on our shoulders, we enter the final dungeon. I say dungeon lightly because realistically, the bottom of the main gate is nothing more than a few sterile white hallways. But do you remember that legendary treasure? It's right here! This giant prismatic refractor. Not that we actually get to take it because, you know, the island's about to be blown up and all. But it's nice to know that there was a truth to that legend. At the end of the dungeon, we finally meet back up with Juno, who reveals that he's already activated Eden, the satellite that's gonna wipe clean all life on Catalogs. So long as Juno is in an active state, Eden will charge and fire within the next 5 minutes. I'd show you the cutscene with Juno revealing his evil plan, but the song being used in both the cutscene and battle is actually copyrighted, so I'll just have to... what do we got here? You like jazz? Maybe I'll put on a little jazz. 5 minutes before the beam is unleashed and we are locked in combat with Juno. Unfortunately, the battle is not actually timed, which I think is a missed opportunity since it would have given a larger sense of urgency that would have added drama to this already intense fight. There is not a moment where you can just stand still and shoot. I mean, this fight defines strafing and shooting. Juno's fists fire lasers that you have to dodge. He slams the ground, unleashing powerful quakes requiring perfectly timed jumps. You are consistently in motion for survival, and regrettably, if you have all the defensive upgrades, some powerful buster parts, and plenty of canteens, you shouldn't really have much trouble, but still, to describe this fight as easy would be putting it mildly. And just when you think you've won, Juno flies into this little hole, and whoa, that's a lot of robot. Juno's second form is pure, raw, destructive power. There is a bit more breathing room when it comes to targeting and shooting, but not by much. I'm talking giant fireballs, explosive trails, and when you get him down to half health, he starts using his signature move. That's not actually what it's called. I just thought it sounded really cool. And getting hit by is bad news bears because it has a nasty habit of stun locking you, causing an inevitable death. However, one must come out victorious and we leave Juno in shambles, which temporarily stops Eden. But then he pulls a little sneaky on us and backs up all of his data onto Eden, which commences the reinitialization. But luckily, Data... Oh god, I forgot to mention Data. Okay. Data is this little dancing monkey who saves your game. That's literally... He's like one of the most important characters in the game and does nothing up until this point except for save your game and tell you if you're lost where to go. He just shows up and just starts talking some tech mumbo jumbo, undoing every protocol Juno just did, including full-on deleting him from Eden's data. It's unfortunate because this game leaves a lot of plot points unanswered, like where Roll's parents are, who Volnut is, and how Data knew to reverse Eden's protocol, but luckily it's explained in the second game, which I appreciate because cramming all of the lore into one game would have resulted in Mega Man Legends feeling rushed. Probably should have made this video covering both the games, but hey, nobody's perfect. With the island saved, we exit the main gate and set off on our next adventure, but not before saying farewell to all the NPCs we helped along the way. And while we may not have found the mother lode, our parents, or answers to the past, we did find something of value. This adventure took us to subterranean cities, verdant forests, and azure lakes. We fought dangerous battles, found ancient technologies, and did everything in our power to keep the people of Catalog safe. Not only did we make memories, but we made friends, connections. And by the end of it, we weren't simply turning off the console and walking away having played a game, but rather experienced a true-to-heart adventure that was rich in exploration, filled with lighthearted comedy, and had a deeper philosophical tone that was all packaged beautifully into one amazing story. If I could be real with you guys for just a second, this video script was insanely hard for me to make. Recently, I've been trying to steer the channel away from video essays and focus more on goofy, shorter 2010s entertainment style reviews. But as soon as I played Mega Man Legends, I knew I had to glaze it. I can't think of a single thing I didn't like about this game, and it gave me next to no material to make fun of. And I can't even blame it on nostalgia. This is my first time playing Mega Man Legends. It took me 20 20 years to finally experience a game that I think is legendary. And I can say without a doubt, I love Mega Man Legends.
Law detected. Law detected. Eliminate. Eliminate.
No, we can't end 2 episodes with robots. It's unimaginative. It's mediocre. No. 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 No.
Well, that's the last time I drink homogenized before bed. Whoa! What up, gamers? You made it to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Obligatory like, comment, and subscribe if you are one of the few who still enjoy those goofy game reviews with some of that 2010 stank on them. Like I said, this video was a bit harder for me to parse, but I did promise to make it on the Patreon. Speaking of the Patreon, we got some lovely Patreon names in the background. Ooh, If we're being real, it still surprises me that there are people out there who want to support my silly antics. You guys are the best! If you too want your beautiful name to show up in one of my videos, don't be scared to sub to the old Patreon for as low as $3 Canadian a month. And as always, for my Ruby tier gamers, shout out to my homies Cameron and Kirill. Damn, you guys working out or something? You're looking good. But for real, I appreciate everyone's continued support so much, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.
Well, there they go. Not a care in the world. Hey, Tron, can't this thing go any faster?
No, it can't. I had to gather up all the spare parts from everything he blew up to build this.
That's right! That's right!
We'll just have to rough it until we get to the next island. If we sell what we found, we'll get back what we lost and then some. We'll live like kings! Who would have thought there was such a huge refractor down there, and all we had to do was just wander in and pick it up? I told you we'd have the last laugh!
That's assuming we make it to the next island without sinking. Oh well, at least he's in a good mood.